Alrighty, welcome back. So we are doing our second annual NordCast mock draft. So we did one about a month ago, and it did very well in the YouTube end of things. Got about 2,000 views. Is one of the more popular videos in my YouTube channel's history. So we'd like to thank you all very much for that. But I'm here with the crew yet again. The draft lottery order has been finalized, and we got our picks here for this upcoming draft. So what's going to be a little bit different is when we did this about a month ago, we kind of showed like, we kind of said like, oh, who's the best player available. Now we know the actual order, we can talk in terms of, oh, what does this team need necessarily? Does this team need a forward? Does this team need a defenseman? We can kind of talk about that much better now. So we have the previous order up here in case if you were wondering. I will link that at the top of the video. But regardless, we're going to get straight into it here. Carter has the first overall pick yet again, going to the San Jose Sharks. So Carter, who are you gonna take if you're the San Jose Sharks here?
Well, I mean, I think if you kind of got to look at it at what does this team need, right? And ultimately what this team needs in my personal opinion has got to be a player that you can rely on. It's got to be a player you can trust in and day out. And I feel like sometimes you got to drag it along a little bit. But ultimately in my opinion, I think you got to take a goaltender here. It's hard to
Oh,
get a number one goalie. No, I'm kidding. It's Macklin Celebrini. Come on, I dragged this out for way too long. The only reason I dragged it out was because Tankathon doesn't have any fucking goalies in their top 60. Um,
oh.
but anyways, yeah, I'm taking Macklin Celebrini. BU. He's going to San Jose. It's a lock.
Yeah, I think that's a lock too. We had him in our first draft going there. I think it should be apparently very obvious that he should be going at that spot. I can't see a world where he doesn't go there. It'd be very shocking. It makes the San Jose Sharks future substantially brighter. So we're gonna turn to the Chicago Blackhawks here at second overall. Jack is a Blackhawks fan and he has the second overall pick here. So Jack, who are you taking?
I'm gonna go Ivan Demidov out of the KHL.
All right. I like Demidov a lot. I think Demidov, whether he's centering or on the wing to Bedard, I think that 100% they're going to be a work of a force of nature. Absolutely. I think even without Celebrini, like if they got Celebrini, they would be absolutely unbelievable. But even with Demidov, I'm very okay with that. With him going at that spot. No changes so far though. We had Demidov at the same spot last draft. Third overall, Anaheim Ducks. I think when you look in terms of what Anaheim needs, they need a right shot defenseman. They just lost Jamie Drysdale to Philadelphia. I think you gotta go with Artem Levshunov again from Michigan State. Had an unbelievable year there with them. I think you'd be stupid not to go with Levshunov here at third overall, going to going to Anaheim. That makes that team absolutely insane. So moving on now to fourth overall with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Carter, who are you going to take here at this third overall selection?
So one thing that I've kind of started to look at is kind of the prospects that Columbus has because I I do pay attention to comments sometimes. And one thing Aaron was saying was that Columbus does actually have some decent defensemen kind of in their pipeline there. Like, they still have David Yurchek, Uric. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's some sort of name like that. So they still have him. They also still have Werenski, who's got 5 years. He's a little injury prone, but that's okay. Damian Severson, who still has 8 years left on his deal. Provorov has 2 years left. So I don't think I'm gonna go defenseman here.
Ooh.
I think I'm gonna switch it up. I am going to take Cole Iserman out of the
Whoa.
USNDP.
Wow.
I so one thing I have done is I have done a lot of looking at Cole Iserman's game. I think compared to what everyone was saying about him from the start of the year, I think he started to address that a little bit more, kind of come to the end of this year, and he's proven it. He's breaking Cole Caulfield's goal record, I'm pretty sure. And like I know that Cole Caulfield is not a top end player, but he's still very elite. And I think getting an elite player, even at fourth overall, is definitely unreal. So I'm going to take Cole Iserman there to the Columbus Blue Jackets and switch things up.
I like that pick. There have been talks of him drafting as low or dropping as low as like 11th or 12th overall. That would be unbelievable if the Flyers got him first off. As a Flyers fan, I'd be pretty stoked. But I I like that pick. I think that pick is very interesting when you're looking in terms of, Yzerman. He definitely broke Caulfield's goal record. He has a knack for scoring goals. He definitely has addressed the issues. I feel like people are doubting him a little bit, but I like the bold move of putting him at fourth. That's kind of a bold move at this point. So going fifth overall to the Montreal Canadiens, Jack, who are you taking at fifth overall? I would like to say that there were a lot of Habs fans who commented on our video, our first mock draft, saying that if the Habs pass on Caden Lidstrom, they would be stupid. So keep that in mind when you make your pick here.
That's exactly who I'm taking. I'm taking Caden Lindstrom at number 5 overall, moving up one spot? Yeah.
Yes, moving up one spot. He was going to be drafted by Arizona originally, I think, because Arizona had yeah. So originally that was what it was going to be. I actually kind of forgot to put the Utah logo in there. I apologize for that. But regardless, Caden Lindstrom, I think, again, Montreal would be stupid to not go for him 100%. And I do think that Lidstrom would be an awesome pick there. They definitely need forwards for sure. Even it's weird that it's a defensive draft and they're going for a forward. It's kind of funny, but regardless, Caden Lidstrom there at fifth overall. So far we've had two changes. Yzerman's risen up one spot. Lidstrom's dropped one spot. So we've had guys kind of swap positions here a little bit. So keep that in mind. Sixth overall, going to Utah. I know I have Arizona up there. I apologize. I completely forgot about that. But I think in terms when you're looking at defensemen, you got to go with Z Bouillon. I think, why isn't it bold? I think that honestly, when you're looking in terms of guys that are available, Bouillon was like really rose up the rankings in this last month. We had him 10th overall to the New Jersey Devils. If he drops to 10th, that is criminal. I think that Utah would be stupid to pass up on a guy like Bouillon. And I think that 100% he is going to be a steal there at 6th overall for the Utah team. So going back to Ottawa here, we're going back to Carter. Carter, who are you going to take at the 7th overall pick?
There's been a lot of shaking up lately.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna stick with it here. We are gonna end up going Sam Dickinson is gonna go to Ottawa. I kind of regretted that not giving them a defenseman last time. And I think that grabbing a guy like Sam Dickinson is definitely a guy that I would love to see in a Sens uniform. So yeah.
I like that. Sam Dickinson has my last name. So wherever he's going to go, I'm going to buy a jersey for him. I'm going to follow him throughout the league. So Ottawa needs defensemen. I think Dickinson would be a great choice. But above all, I love that pick there for the Ottawa Senators. Moving into 8th overall with Jack's pick, the Seattle Kraken. Jack, who's Seattle going to take?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the defenseman like we did in the previous mock draft. But this time I'm gonna go Zane Park.
All right, I like that too. Perrick has been probably one of the more underrated guys in this draft class. I think that he gets really underrated here a little bit, and I think that should not go unnoticed here whatsoever. But yeah, I like Perrick there at that 8th overall pick. 9th overall, I think you got to go with him. I think you guys know who I'm going to say here. His father played for the Calgary Flames. We've actually seen him rise up the rankings here a lot recently in these draft rankings. I've seen him be picked as high as 5 in some of these rankings. But you got to go with TJ Ginla. I think that honestly, if he's there for Calgary at 9, I think there's a very good chance that he goes to the Flames. Not even because his father played for Calgary, but I just think that when you're looking in terms of, the overall talent in this forward core, there's some good forwards available still on the board, like Berkeley Catton. But honestly, I think that Calgary has to go with TJ Ginla. I feel like they have to. So moving into 10th overall now to the New Jersey Devils. Carter, who's going 10th overall to the Devils?
So this was the guy I wanted to grab last time before Jack decided, or no, you decided to steal him, I think, right?
I think it might have been me.
Yeah, it was you. I am going to take Anton Silyev I think you need some size on that blue line there for the New Jersey Devils. I think that they're set on forwards. I think you build up that decor, help whatever goaltender you get, give them a really good situation to come into. I really like Anton Silyev, so I'm gonna say Anton Silyev from the KHL is gonna go um to the New Jersey Devils.
I like that pick a lot. I am a huge fan of that selection. I think that Silyev has been he's freaking massive, by the way. He's like 6'8", so he's a big boy. And I think that you add him to that Devils defense, which is already stacked. Oh man. Oh man, that would be one hell of a core for the New Jersey Devils there. So I am in love with that for sure. 11th overall, the Buffalo Sabres. We'll go back to Jack here. Jack, who are you going to take at this 11th overall selection?
Yeah, number 11, I have Hellenius. Is that how you say it? Hellenius. I have him moving up to number 11 overall in Buffalo.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hellenis is a guy who's playing with men in that state of Finland. I'm a big fan of that pick. So me and Carter, like we did last time, I think we're going to take the Philadelphia pick together since we're both Flyers fans. Carter, we see some notable guys on the board. Carter Yakimchuk, Liam Greentree, Trevor Connolly, but Berkeley Cadden is still on the board here. Berkeley Cadden's still here. I know we might want to go with the defenseman, but Berkeley Cadden's on the board. Who are we thinking, Carter?
I have no idea. This is definitely a tough pick. I know we said last time,
Picked
like when we
Tisha
recorded
Ginla.
on episode 51, we did say Tisha Ginla. I know he's been taken. But I know one thing we did say was if there is a top 5, 6 defenseman on the board here at 12, I think you have to take them. I think you got to go defenseman early. It's hard to get an elite defensive class, especially now. Um, 71 points for a defenseman is unreal. 30 goals in 66 games is also unreal for Carter Yakimchuk. So my vote would be for Yakimchuk, but if you want to go Berkeley,
No,
I
I'm
am
with you.
okay with that as well.
I'm with you. I'm going Yakimchuk. It is rare to this is a really good defensive draft class, and the biggest issue for Philadelphia in the last couple of years has been defense. So I think it's the best idea for the Rangers. I have the Rangers game on, that's why. For the Flyers to go with this 12th overall pick and Yakimchuk, especially to a right shot defenseman. Those guys are hard to come by. And Jamie Drysdale, we just got a right shot defenseman. Adding Yakimchuk could really help out with that defensive core overall. You want to really strengthen that. So Yakimchuk, Calgary Hitman, I like that pick a lot. So we're moving into the last 4 picks. Jack, you got the Minnesota Wild at 13th overall. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I have Adam Yurchek moving up to
Ooh,
go number 13 overall with the Wild.
ooh, wow. Okay. That's an interesting pick. Juracek was injured for a lot of the season. I definitely think that's kind of a hot take, but I like it. I
I
think
know.
Juracek could go that high potentially. It's a little bit of a risk for Minnesota, but obviously we'll see. Carter's blown away by that. But yeah, moving into 14th overall. You got some notable players on the board. You got Trevor Connolly, Liam Greentree, Berkeley Cadden. Obviously, if you wanted to go off the board too, you could. So, Carter, who are you thinking here?
I am fucking shocked that he has fallen this far. Um, this is going to be a scary forward core if this plays out exactly how it is. Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, Colin Graff,
Colin Graff, yes.
Colin Graff, and with the 14th pick, they're going to go Berkeley Catton.
That's what I've been
Um,
wondering. He's been dropping significantly down this list. He was 7th overall in our one that we did last month. So, I
I'm
mean,
shocked. I'm shocked to be honest with you. I think getting Berkeley Canton here is just ridiculous. Like he had a good season. I don't know why he's like in all the things I've seen, he has been dropping a lot, which honestly like doesn't make too much sense to me. He had 116 points, 54 goals. Like he's a great player. He had 10 points in the U18 Holinka Gretzky Cup. Like he played really well. So I don't know where all this droppings kind of come from. I don't know if maybe they're seeing something that I'm not, but I think that this is a steal for the San Jose Sharks.
I'm with you. I think honestly, when I'm looking in terms of there have been guys that have risen up a lot in value. I like how Zeev Buium rose up in our draft rankings. We got Tisha Ginla, who rose up pretty significantly. Consta Helenius rose up. There were some guys that got up pretty high in the rankings. Cadden was the one to drop, but I'm shocked that he's going at the 14th overall pick. So, yeah, I like that a lot. So that's Carter's last pick. Carter's officially done. For our 15th overall pick going to the Detroit Red Wings. Excuse me. 15th overall, I think I'm gonna go with. So I got Liam Greentree, Trevor Connolly as options there. I can go off the board if I want to. I think I'm gonna go with him. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think it's Michael Brandseg. Carter, you have it pulled up, right? What's his name?
Something like that.
Who is it? Michael.
Michael Brandseg. It's like Mich
Oh,
Brand.
Michael Brandseg Nygaard.
Yes. What's his position? He's a forward, right?
Yeah, forward for Mora IK in the Norway League. Maybe I don't actually know. Yeah, I honestly don't know too much about him. In the Junior 20 League, he had 12 points through 7 games with 5 goals. In Hockey Allsvenskan, I'm assuming that's probably their adult league. He had 18 points through 41 games. Yeah,
Yeah,
not a bad pick.
I wanted to go off the board here a little bit. I think Nygaard's risen up a little bit in some of the rankings. I'm doing that in part because I'm not a huge fan of Liam Greentree or Trevor Connolly. Greentree I feel like is a really cocky player. I think that Detroit might try and stray away from that a little bit and go with someone like Nygaard. Not a bad pick. I like it a lot. Jack, with the final pick in the mock draft number 2, who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Liam Greentree out of Windsor at number 16 to the Blues.
Alrighty, I like that a lot. I know Greentree, I said he has personal issues. Doesn't mean he's a bad player whatsoever. But he does have some personality issues. He thinks he's a little bit too cocky, but not against that. I like that pick. So that is our final mock draft there. First overall, Celebrini. Second overall, Ivan Demidov. Third overall, Artem Levshinov. Fourth overall, Cole Iserman. Fifth overall, Caden Lidstrom. So moving into the changes here, I think Iserman rose up 1 spot. Caden Lidstrom rose up 1 spot. Buium rose up, I think, 4 spots. Sam Dickinson, I think, dropped 3 spots. Perrick, I think, moved up a little bit too. Actually, no, I stayed at the same spot. Aginla rose up by 4 or 3 spots. Siliev actually dropped a spot. And then you have Helenius, who rose up, I think, 2 spots. Yakimchuk, who I think actually dropped a little bit. Juracek, who rose. Cadden, who took a significant drop. Nygaard wasn't even on the board in our last draft. And then Liam Greentree also dropped as well. So most notably, Trevor Connolly drops out of our top 15 or top 16. So something to keep in mind there when you're looking in terms of this. I don't think Connolly's a bad player, but I think there's a lot of talent in this draft. Is it as good as last year? No, but I definitely think that it still is a pretty solid draft. So yeah, that is our 2024 mock draft. Number 2. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on this overall podcast. Thank you all for listening or watching the NordCast episode number 54. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. If you're on the audio end of things, be sure to obviously give us a good review. Tell your friends. If you'd like to follow the Instagram, follow at NordCast_. If you want to follow the TikTok, follow at NordCast. And yeah, that's all we got. There's a good chance that heading into next week, we could be in the 3rd round of the playoffs. So we'll see. But regardless, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.